It's good, it's over here in Bosnia. It's the temperature is really hot, so I'm trying to cool myself down a little bit.
Oh, nice, nice. Bosnia. It's hot. Yeah, I'm in Arizona right now. I think it's hottest state in America.
Yeah, it's I know it's there are a lot of deserts, and Arizona, as far as I know, I can say always hot state in the United States next to Nevada. And yeah, I really hope that your air conditioner is working because this climate change is affecting us all basically. So
Yeah, man. No, it's. Thank God it's working well.
yeah,
So you're how are you from Bosnia?
yeah, I'm from Bosnia. It's I don't know if you are. I mean, how much do you know about that country? It's Balkan country. It's actually like ex-Yugoslavian Republic. Our neighboring countries are Croatia and Serbia. So yeah, I'm
It's like
I was
where the is it like for like Vikings from the back in time is Vikings are from there?
no, we have like at the time we was part of the Roman Empire. Then after that, the Ottomans came, and we was part of Ottoman Empire for like 500 or 600 years. Then after that, we got like Austro-Hungarian Empire, and basically after that, Yugoslavia came, and it's just we have like in our history that like basically our history is dating for like back in the 1040 year. So we had like small time in that history on which we was like totally independent country. It was like Bosnian Empire. And mostly we are a mix of basically Slavic country.
Got it, got
So
it.
so yeah, so like Vikings are more like the, let's say it's up there from Scandinavia. And but yeah, we are basically in the Europe. So we are have similar culture. European countries are pretty similar, I can say.
Got it, got it. Cool, cool. Well, thanks for coming on the call today. Basically, the main purpose of this initial call is to get to know you a little bit more about your previous experiences, what you're good at, maybe some stuff you're not so great at, and then after we go through that, we in the towards the end we'll have a section where I will answer any questions you have from our company or anything else that's on your mind. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, awesome. All right, so Benjamin, I guess a good place to get started with is like overall speaking, what is your career goal?
Well, to be honest, the first, basically, I started in the digital marketing industry, not knowing actually that I was part of it. That might sound funny because mine, entry point to the digital marketing world was the content researcher basically. So I was doing a lot of research and creating the templates for writers to write on articles. So those articles were just pillar blog posts on our client page and guest posts for basically other clients that we was working on. After that, I was starting to get basically aware. That was like back in 2016. And after 1 year, because I can really say for myself that I'm a really curious person. So I was, trying to explore. I was wondering actually why I'm doing all of this, what's the purpose of this. And I actually realized that there's like SEO industry basically. And that's when I started to get, interested in that. I started to learn about the SEO. And after some time, couple of months, I was actually upgraded to the SEO specialist position in the local company, in Bosnia. But our primary client was the Trendforce.one company that watched the trends, technology trends, and that company was from the Netherlands. And basically, I was just learning about SEO stuff, doing a lot of on-page optimization mostly. But since my entry point to that world was the content, I can say basically that I was always like paying so much attention to the content and trying to improve, our content. And after some time, basically I was upgraded to the position of a project manager in the SEO project manager, I can call it like that. So after that, I was leading the team of 2 writers, one SEO specialist, 2 researcher, social media specialist, and 1 publisher. And I was basically leading the whole process and helping the create process of just writing good content, making sure that it's published, that it's well optimized, constantly improving all aspects of it. And after quite some time, I was just started to notice that actually in that company I was not growing. I was not able to learn anything more. So that's when I got offer from the one company from United Kingdom called Get Me Links, and there I was in the position of head of fulfillment basically. My role over there was to communicate with clients, receiving the orders, actually, listening to clients and want basically to realize what they actually want, because you are in the SEO industry and most of the people, most of the clients are not aware of the SEO and how it works. So basically you always have to communicate with them, explain to them, what means, writing down their requests, passing that to the team, make sure the team delivers everything, make sure that the team is guided well. And that was my last, let's say, full-time role. I have also a lot of basically project roles that I have worked with, mostly like those jobs I found on Upwork. So I was working with some, company from Canada, actually. It's called Investor Scene. I was, in charge for on-site optimization over there. Some other clients from United Kingdom that was like project-based jobs, actually, for like, let's say for most of them were like around 2 months. So with basically all of that, I felt that, I might be the good fit for that role, because I was also communicating so much with the, clients. And when I received that I, filmed the video for you, I noticed that actually, it's something that I have, done before, basically similar. Just let's say my clients that I have worked with are from, let's say, from moving industry to some kind of companies that were actually like, selling the construction machines to different, people and
Like
other companies. So
it's like supply companies or what?
yeah, like basically they are, they were selling. I had like one client from Australia, and they were selling basically construction machines, like, the all stuff of machines. So I was like, doing the on page over there and off page also, building high quality links for them.
For the
And
yeah, sorry to cut you off. I think you give a lot of good information there on overall how you have basically got into the industry, how you have been transitioning, and then based on how you have been, the experience you have, what excites you? Where do you see it going? What would you like to happen for yourself over the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years?
yeah, to be honest, I thought that, when I received, basically, I was, I was reached out by the recruiter, and he told me, hey, can you please look at this job post we have for our client? And when I saw your job post, actually, that was something, that first I gotta be, because I am always like fully honest person. To be honest, I'm looking, for the full-time role. And, to be honest, I wanted to be part of the company that, works with multiple clients, because I feel that, every time you communicate with more people, you are, able to learn more from them, especially in the SEO agencies. Like, you communicate with so many people, and sometimes you got questions asked and you don't know the answer right away. And that's like really curious, about this whole job. And the full-time position, to be honest, also, working in the US company, because over here in the Europe, US companies are like basically, let's say, top of your career. You can say that you succeed in some kind of work if you are work, let's say, for Americans, basically.
Go on.
And yeah, basically, the US companies are really like, basically they are like gold in Europe. Over here, at least in Balkans, like, you can say that you made it in one specific role if you started to work for the US company. And to be honest, I want to learn not about everything. Like, I would love to expand my knowledge more into digital marketing, and really like becoming of course, the SEO position that is offered to me right now. I mean, that was in that the role in your company is really something that I can see myself working on in the future.
Well, awesome. Okay, so it sounds like you do like talking to clients.
Yeah, actually, like, I always have to say to myself, and when I talking with other people, I always say like, "Hey, I got a big mouth. I'm never quiet." Let's say it like that. I'm always talking, and that's also what helps me with the colleagues, because I'm always trying to be, let's say, friendly towards everybody, and always try to create some kind of good relationship, because I was a part, of the company that at some point had like, let's say, really toxic environment, and I know how much that means actually to all the workers. And I noticed that when you have some kind of friendly relationship with employers and other workers, I think that results are much better, because people are always working harder when they are in, let's say, good environment. They become more productive, and that's also something that clients like. Uh, Basically, a lot of clients love to, when you listen to them, when you have the right answers, when you have, also, if you don't have some answers right now, they want to, let's say, they want to see that you actually, remember what they were, talking to you, and just, bring additional information to them, as soon as possible. So yeah, definitely, like, I really love to talk. So that's, I think, probably it's plus for me, but sometimes it's, I think, minus, because, there are, of course, people that don't like people who, talk too much or talk much. So
Oh, well, we're in a profession where talking is a plus for most of the time, so that's good. Now, um, the next part is a few questions where we need 5 responses for each. So the question is, what are you really good at? Let's say the number one thing first.
uh, you mean like the let's say, job wise,
Overall,
or
like,
or you
the skills needed to do an account management job as a whole, um, which skills would you say that you're very good at that, plays in part for you to be successful in this role?
to be honest, I think that there are like two skills that I think that are really important for this role. First skill is, I think that I'm a hard worker. Uh, it's I'm really type of person who just, it's not problem for me to work not only 8 hours but even more, like, because if something needs to be done, I'm dedicated to the work. If something needs to be done, today, it will be done today, don't matter what. That's basically my attitude towards the job. Also, I think that communication is, it's in this job, it's really important, and I also think that's like another plus for me. When we talk about this role, to be specific.
Definitely.
Also, I think overall the soft skills towards like being able to, let's say, cruise between the customers and our other team members, making sure that everything is okay, just balancing everything. I think that's one of my skills. Basically, I don't know basically how to say it in one words, but overall, I think that my soft skills are pretty developed.
Okay.
And
That's like, I would say,
yeah,
maybe like following up with and with multiple, tasks with team members and clients, juggling
yeah.
the whole, complexity like at the same time, that kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, and also, what I really love, what I really, really love is, that might sound crazy, but I really enjoy being out of my comfort zone. Like, every time it throws something at me that I'm not good of, it's like that. Let's say make me exciting because I know that's way for me to learn. So basically, there's no challenge that I will not take. Doesn't matter what, because uh, in the first company when I was starting to work, not only that I was, uh, I have worked as a content researcher and SEO specialist, but there used to be a time when literally the person who worked on sales for us made a quit, and somebody had to take over that position in like around a month until somebody gets hired, and I was the one actually who volunteered to do that because I wanted to see like how it is like to call people to offer them the product, and how it's like when you call somebody and he just hangs on your phone, like how do you feel in that particular moment. So you know basically that I think that's also something very valuable for this position.
Oh, so so like a salesperson got fired, or not fired, he left the job, you said, and then you took up his position for a little bit?
Yeah, we had that package that we were selling to the clients around the Europe. We had like I was assisting that person in my, let's say, free time. I created the potential contacts, and we was looking for the associations in education, basically like uh, if they are teacher association or association of schools in Europe. I was looking for those contacts, emails, and phone numbers, and I was adding that to the sheet. And at some point, our salesperson was just overwhelmed with that, and he decided he don't want to work on this anymore. And I have volunteered, and that was like, I can say it was 50-50 type of job, because it was my first time basically working on it. And I made some, let's say, positive things over there. A couple of people actually wanted to get follow-up call, and they were like interested in our product, so uh, I had to send them like a white paper that we created just to inform everybody like what we are doing and what our product was. But also there were used to there was also calls in which people just hang up their phone, or they start yelling like, "Hey, where did you get my number?"
Where so you
and
were
so
you were
on.
actually able to you actually not just made the spreadsheet, you actually had to pick up the phone and give them a call?
Yeah, actually, yeah, exactly. Because at that particular time, basically nobody didn't want to do that job, and I felt that this opportunity for me to see, hey, let's see basically how this worked. I remember we was using I don't remember, just EngageBay. We was using EngageBay as CRM, and I was adding also contacts over there. And in EngageBay you can just it records your phone call. And I remember I was listening to those phone calls, and every bad phone call that I had to listen it like 3 or 4 times, just wondering like when the things start to go wrong in each of those calls basically. And to be honest, that was like really challenging for me because I never did something similar before. But
I mean,
that's like the
sales
thing that I really,
sales is difficult. I mean, this is why it's like
yeah.
half the business is basically sales. But let's get back to I put that note down because that's a very good example. Exactly, that's what I was going to ask you after um, I asked you the what are you good at is the example for each. So I put the example that you enjoy being out of your comfort zone, and then example. I mean the skill. What are you good at is being enjoys out of comfort zone, and then the example I put is when the salesperson was not able to take up for it, you actually volunteered and um, basically took a stab at it and then actually got some traction. You were able to make some contact with some people. That's really great. Now the first thing you said is hard worker gets done no matter what would you say is a good example of in the past sometime when maybe you really used that skill to get something really done that was maybe crucial or deadline or something.
Yeah, since the company that in which I was working with, we actually worked a lot. We was basically selling the content. So in the content, you always, when you work with the content, you always deal with the deadlines, and especially when you work with multiple writers from different time zones and so on. So I remember that at one particular time, our let's say boss, he wanted us to prepare the ebook so he can share it with his contacts. And basically what he did is like he gave us a deadline till I think it was like Thursday or something like that, and it was like basically 12 12 days. We had like 12 days to complete everything, and we was like in the middle of research phase. So at that particular time I was a project manager, and it was like it was super hard to make everybody get together, because like I told you, like the writers are in different time zones. Sometimes the research was going slower, but I was basically helping each one of them. And at one time we had to hire like person who will actually like create graphics for the ebook. And that was the first time when I actually started to pick up some things in Adobe Illustrator. I was helping just to create some kind of basic graphs for statistics.
Okay.
So that graphs were actually inserted into that ebook. But I can say that in that 12 days basically, Slack was always like on my phone active. I was always typing to somebody, making sure that everybody's delivering. Basically, it's in the team you always have people who are willing to work hard, and people who just try to avoid tasks and work as less as possible. So that's when I was able to let's say notice with who I can work with in the future in the similar stuff. When we get to work again in the deadlines, I know who I can count on.
Right.
But I was the one actually, like it was really doesn't matter to me if something needs to be done. And at that time also Adobe, it was my first time to actually install it in the computer.
But were you able to
And
get it done in 12 days?
yeah, actually, and he shared that ebook, and that ebook can be found on his website. Still, we was also working on a lot of ebooks, and he was pretty satisfied with it, and I was really proud of myself and on the rest of the team, because not only me, but there was other people who are just we also had like one member. He was social media manager, and he like sent me a message. Hey, I heard that you guys are in the our deadline. If you need help, I'm glad to help you. And he started to work as a researcher at that time. But he offered himself basically because I was helping him when he was in the deadlines, and when he had difficulties. So that's like my, let's say, soft skills. It's really helping other people to succeed, and sometimes sometimes people actually notice that and they want to return their favor.
That's
And
great.
that was like literally I was working, I can say more than 12 hours per day at that particular time just to get that thing done.
For the that the way you did that is really is like juggling main things. But I also put down at your number 3 skill is you're able to juggle multiple things at the same time. Follow up with deadlines internally while maybe keeping client expectations also good and all that kind of stuff. What's an example of a time when your overall juggling skills? I think that's for lack of better words, I'm calling it juggling. Um, Overall managing multiple things that are circling around you, how do you manage that and still make sure everything gets done?
It's I can say that something like you need to have like, there are people who are actually works well under pressure, and there are people who just let's say they are you know let's say bad under pressure. For some reason, I'm always keeping my, let's say, head calm, because I know if you dedicate sometimes towards completing some tasks, the results will come. When you, as soon as you start to panic, uh, everything starts going downhill. I remember like I used to talk with the one colleague, and he says to me like, hey, as soon as I see that we have deadline, that some research needs to be done today, I start to click on the links that I don't even want to open. So I really think that that's like just being able to let's say keep your head calm, being able to time manage yourself. Like if you think that you need like a couple hours, let's say 2 hours to complete one task, make sure that you have 3 hours available. So time management, I think it's really important, and I manage my time, I can say, very well, and that's something that I have learned basically on Upwork, because on Upwork people usually like pay you per hour, and they use multiple tracking softwares, and that's really good for somebody who's like getting into the let's say into this kind of intellectual work. It keeps you like how much time you need, and you don't want them to see that you are, let's say, in Hubstaff. If you are, and you probably are, I think that, let's say, Time Doctor is similar. It tracks your how much do you click on something, and you can see basically you
Yeah,
can
we
see
use Time Doctor.
Yeah, you can see percentage, like how active you are. And I was always afraid that people will like see that my active time was, let's say, under 50%, let's say it like that. So those tools are something that I really like appreciate, because it like it teaches you to focus, and it teaches you to be like active, really active, and helps you time managing everything. And I think that really a lot of work can be done in 8 hours, but if there are something that needs to be done in, let's say, today, and you don't have let's say time to waste, it's, I think, totally okay, because company gives you the, let's say, you live out of it, you basically work to live out of those money that you earn there. So I think that everybody should really pay attention to time managing everything, just to be sure that I know, because let's say I was project manager, and I know every time I assign tasks to somebody, I was always trying to assign him a task and give him deadline that is really doable. So nobody will, at least that's my opinion, nobody will try to bully you with the, let's say, with the deadlines. But you need to organize yourself, like, yeah, and I know that a lot of people are not able to do that. So
Would
I
you
think that's
say
like,
would you say like one of your skills are like project managing?
yeah, I was let's say like this, I started to basically when I was when I was upgraded to, let's say, SEO project manager in the TrendForce.1, we was starting just, basically we was starting to work in the project management tool called Good Day. And, that was like first time to work with some kind of tool. Before that, we was working in Sheets. So, I was helping to create that whole process, of assigning tasks, creating all different subs for every kind of things. And, I was, let's say, really, I started to love those tools like Good Day. And after that, we transitioned to the ClickUp. And I started to use ClickUp. I was really, really, happy to use it because at that particular time, ClickUp, was starting to, let's say, get more commercial, and everybody was, moving towards it. And basically, I wanted to learn more of those tools. And let's say the company that I was working with, Get Me Links, they wanted also to transition from the Sheets to other project management tool. And I was talking to the managers, and I told them that, I was working with Good Day, I was working with the ClickUp, and they wanted to start work in the Monday. Monday is great, super great tool that, I really enjoy to work with. Also, I think it's like similar to Asana, but it's like, let's say, more user friendly. At least it was for me.
We use
And
ClickUp right now.
The ClickUp is great, especially like they got, so many, like I think they got founded by a couple of those investors, and ClickUp is getting better and better. I see that they have like their own their own documents. Now you can like basically, if you have a team that works on content, they can work in the ClickUp documents, and they can always like connect those documents with the tasks they are working. So that's like basically the ClickUp is becoming the tool in which you can, not only project managing, but you can basically work. If you have writers, they can, open the task that what they need to write about. They can create a doc, write in the ClickUp doc, and everything gets connected. So yeah, ClickUp is just, it's becoming better and better. And I really like that feature with the docs.
Nice, that's really good. I didn't know that one. I need to check it out. Let's go on to the next section, which is some things that you're not so good at. This one, these you don't have to explain detail. You can just say, like one word or like a one sentence about them. So we need 5, starting with the number one thing that you feel that you're not so good at, and it's something that keeps on coming up and becoming a challenge for you.
So let's see like this. It's always it's always hard to talk about bad things about yourself, because we always think that we are some kind of perfect beings.
Right.
But yeah, I have I think that like I said, like communication. I talk a lot, and some people don't like that. I noticed that because when you have international company with, let's say, 20 or 30 people, some of them are like not so talkative, so they start, let's not hate you, but they start to avoid you, and that can affect the job. And the communication is more important in one companies.
What would you say,
So
number 2?
The number 2 is definitely I still have to go back and basically hardworking. Some people are just try to avoid stuff, and I think that people actually like start to feel like they are under pressure when you have somebody who's let's say workaholic.
Oh.
And I can say for myself that I'm really workaholic. Maybe you will notice that if we start to work together, you will notice that I'm even on the weekends, I'm working basically and trying to get some things done. And it's not because I didn't have time to do it before. It's just I start to get bored sometimes, and usually in my free time, I'm like watching documentaries, play basketball, or work, basically learning, working. So I know that some people hate that, and I think that's like my I can say weaknesses, because it gets, people gets annoyed.
I mean, I would say workaholic
when
honestly is a strength. That's like that's a positive thing. If you're looking at the world of how to get things done, making a better agency so our team is stronger, workaholic I would say is a positive. So I put it under positive actually. What would you say something's really like really you have to think about like something? Maybe it's easier to put it like this. Like maybe you can think of a time when something didn't go the way that you wanted it to go. Maybe a particular client or whatever it may be, and then you can think on why maybe something you could have done better that you need to improve on. What comes to my mind when you think like that?
Let me think about it for a second. Also, when basically during the work, we all have, let's say, some bad stuff that we do, that we did. But let me see. Um, hmm. Maybe uh, maybe I'm let's say some kind of micromanagement type of person who, but I'm not sure about it. I think it's more again about being workaholic than let me think again. Yeah, it's really hard to talk about it when when you have to. But I will figure out something. Definitely, I will find something about it. I know that.
Let's go for one answer, at least one. I need to put one note.
Uh,
One truly
let's.
something that's very like something weak that on your overall skill set that you feel like you could do better or need to work on.
Let's see. Um, that needs to be like, let's say, some kind of. Does that have to be like in the? Let's say. Does that need to be connected with the work or just personality?
Um, let's do anything. Let's do anything. Let's see what comes. What you come
Yeah, personality probably. Let's say that. Yeah, I have to definitely to think more about it, because everything is right now going through my mind. Um, yeah, I really trying to think about something to add over there, and I'm sure that something will pop out during this conversation, because when I focus on it, I really just it's hard for me to think about something more
here.
specific. Like
Let me give
to me,
you.
let's say to me, it's those, let's say, talking too much is, I know that cost me a lot of things during my lifetime.
Let me
So
give you some ideas here. Let's do this. Because the thing is, like, I take some notes, right? Then our coach looks at it. If he sees I put no notes on the week, then he'll be like, "What happened there?" So,
yeah, I understand.
1 second. Let me share my screen. I'll be able to help you out. Okay. So this is our
Okay.
job description, right? One of the job descriptions we use, and I put a section here with like responsibilities. So I think if we look at these, things will pop up in your head. Look, quickly being able to identify clients who are dissatisfied. I think this is a hard skill, honestly, in the sense that many people can tell if a client says they're angry. They're like, let's say, hey guys, we're not getting leads. What's going on? It's the main season. Can we please do something? We know they're not satisfied, but sometimes it's harder for people to identify if they are not saying it directly. Maybe they're saying it slightly like, like they're just checking. Maybe they send out an email. Hey guys, I got this email from another company saying that our tags are not set up properly. Did you check on this? Then after a couple of days, they're sending a WhatsApp message like, hey guys, it's been like, a little bit. I seen the, our branding, the way it looks in front of mobile is not really like, showing up properly. Sometimes when I see that kind of multiple things happen like that, some people won't pick it up, but I can. I can understand that, okay, I can put it together. Like, okay, they were talking about some other company. Now they're talking about their branding. I don't think this client is feeling well. I think it's a good time to get on a call with them, see how they're doing, show them some stuff we're doing. Like, my question to you is, when you think of this, being able to identify and feel when a client is not satisfied, do you have trouble understanding that?
It's all about, let's say, reading the, if they are approaching to us by, let's say, messages, it's always about reading their tone. And like you said, like if he talks about one thing and then after sometimes he jumps and talks about something else, it's clearly that he's not so satisfied, with it. And I know that, most of the clients who are actually satisfied with the thing that we are working with, especially in the SEO industry, like you have to ask them, hey, how things are going? Can you give me a feedback about it, everything? And, at least that's from my experience, most of those clients are, they if they see something, some kind of error on their website, they will approach to you. But otherwise, usually you have to approach, let's say, to them and ask them, are they satisfied? But as soon as they start to ask questions that are not concretely related to one specific problem, that can be like sign that we need definitely to jump call on them. That's like, from my perspective, what I learned in the last, let's say, couple of years. Because I know, most of the time I had to basically send an email to a client, ask him, hey, how things are going? Are you satisfied? Can you please film me a video and tell me, like, did you see your bookings rise? Or because I had clients that was in the moving industry from United Kingdom, and I know literally I had every time that it's a moving season in United Kingdom, I know that I will never, I know that I'm doing the good job if he's not sending me any messages. But as soon as he starts like asking me some things, and I know that we don't have any errors on the website, I know that forms are working well. As soon as he starts to ask questions, I know that something is not right. So that's something that I learned, at least from the moving industry.
It sounds like you're probably pretty good at this. From the way you're talking, I think it sounds fine. Let's go to the next one. I'm trying to find out where maybe you can think you are a little bit weak. This one is a complete different skill set. It's like client requests are coming in, they don't really look at what time they're sending it. It's not like we have to reply right away, but most tasks we like to get done within the same day. Because sometimes in the morning when we check our emails, most tasks is like, hey guys, can you add this to the contact form? Or can you, hey guys, can you add these pictures? Or something small like that. And we have to just send it to our backend team. Sometimes it's very small, like just a couple of pictures or whatever. We can just go do it ourselves and just upload it. But I see when you are managing, for this role, it's like 25 clients, right? And you have major, other stuff that's going on, like actual other tasks that can make a big difference, like on page and strategy we're working on. And then we have Zoom calls with clients that we have to prepare because they're going to be, some of them are hard conversations. When we have a lot of requests coming in at the same time, it can be hard. Would you say this kind of stuff, gets you overwhelmed and, like then the clients are not being able to receive what they want on time and stuff?
Let's say it like this. It is, let's say, pretty difficult to get like reply rate around 70%, especially when we have much clients, let's say 25 plus clients. But I'm not sure if I will be able to maintain that percentage around 70%. But I know that I will try to do my best to make sure that that rate is at least at that percentage. Let's call it like that. But I think that could be like, let's say, some kind of difficulties. Even though I'm, good at time management, I'm really not aware of, the whole company structure right now. So let's say if you understand what I'm trying to say, I'm not aware of the whole company structure right now that
Right.
you have. But definitely from my side, I know that, I will, let's say, work my ass off to get that, at least 70%,
Got it. Got
because
it.
those are the people who are actually paying us. So,
For the do you ever have difficulty? Let's say when we look at, hey, a client call's coming up, they want to know what's going on, and we look into their file on ClickUp and we see, there's some this task done, this task done. We check Ahrefs, SEMrush, see some improvements, but a lot of times, a lot of SEO metrics you can't. It's hard to translate to the client because they don't really care that much about the technicals. And do you feel like you have some challenge, like, being able to convey the value of the action we're doing and stuff like that, so they understand and actually feel like it's something valuable?
uh, it's, let's say, yeah, I think that I understand what you're trying to say, because the SEO world, it's something that it's not coming over the night. And like I said before, a lot of clients actually don't know anything about that industry, so it's hard to explain them some stuff. So let's say the thing that I have done before is like, they basically, let's say, if I had to again bring the moving company, if they don't receive the bookings, they think that you are not doing a great job, even that let's say you are doing the good on-site optimization, and see that you are actually like ranking higher for some particular local keywords. And it's always, trying to, let's say, what I try to do at that time. I know that can be, let's say, one problems, and people might not be, sometimes clients don't want to listen, but every time when I'm speaking, I'm trying to, speak with the facts. And people sometimes don't want, to hear. They want just to hear, what they want to hear. And what can be let's say, the problematic is not only that I will bring the, let's say, I don't know, let's say, metric stuff. I will try to find what could be the reason for that particular problem that is going on for that specific client. So that can be, let's say, difficult, because sometimes it takes, the time to actually to investigate all of that. So let's say that that could be, let's say, one of the issues, because sometimes people don't want to. I also had a client when they want answers right away, and you can't give them the answers right away, especially not those that they want to hear. So
There we go. Let's do that one. We finally got one. All right. So we'll say that sometimes when clients are wanting a very straight answer for something that needs investigation, you can take a bit more time, but only because you're trying to really find the real reason, right? Okay.
Yes, because I really don't want to talk about, like, I had the company that I was really working for a long time with him, and he told me, like, hey, we are overwhelmed with the job, basically, in the United Kingdom at that particular time, and can you please tell me what you did that, just I have to turn down people, basically. And to be honest, I told him, hey, I need to check in with you, and I will come back. So I was checking the metrics, and I remember that he was like, let's say, I told him I didn't do basically anything. All the metrics are pretty much similar, like they were like last month. Couple of keywords are up, couple of them are down, but that's normal stuff. And I remember he was like, let's say, pissed off, because he thought that I was actually doing something.
Oh.
And after some times, he told me that, hey, like the government in the United Kingdom, that was like the time of pandemic, like, peak of the pandemic. So they was like paying companies to let their people work from home, something like that. So he started to receive so many bookings from the companies. They want to remove their office, just to close them down. And I was not aware of it. And he at that particular time, because obviously he's not into the politics, and he was not he didn't want to, let's say, watch the news and so on. And to be honest, that's something that I was not really at that time. I was not even thinking to, let's say, Google some stuff about the what's going on in the London, what's going on that what could affect that. If I read somewhere that there's something going on with that, that government is paying just to let people work from home, and I could tell him, hey, you got so many calls because of this. So that's, basically, I can say that I missed that one so much. And that's what I basically started to, let's say, work on this way, trying to check everything before I come out with the answer. Because I want, like, if I'm giving you the answer, I want you to, be fully aware of it. And I want you to, let's say, have the full information about the things that is going on. So that could be like, that could be frustrating for some clients.
That's true. That's true. No, I understand. All right, let's go on to the next section. Which, one second, let me just finish my notes here. All right, we're going a little bit over time, but we're having a really good. We're getting really good insight about how you work. Are you okay on time? Do you have any we normally take this like an hour interview, but we're about like halfway done, I would say. Are you good for another 30 minutes?
Yeah, no worries. I'm really enjoying and talking with you, so it's,
okay.
It's really not a problem.
Awesome. All right, great. So let's get into the next section. Well, one of the things we like to do is we really like as a company reference checks, right? It's a way for us to like get like see how the experience was from the other side. So I just wanted to also request your permission on that. Is that okay?
Can you please explain exactly what do you mean, like reference check? You want to reach out to somebody, or?
Yeah, well, normally it's like we ask you to either introduce or let us know who you were reporting to and some other work you were doing, and then we would either email them or sometimes we would even call them to talk briefly about what was the job experience and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I will definitely collect the old data that I have from my workers, from the people that I have worked with before, and you can like leave me your email, and I will send them all the information that I have, so you can reach out to people.
Okay, great, perfect. So let's see. The last place you were working with was Get Me Links.
Yeah, exactly.
And who were you reporting to?
They actually, like, the company structure changed a little bit when I was working with them. So I'm not sure that they have like the same people over here right now. At that time, the leader was basically, the owner was Gary. I heard that the company was sold to, but I will have to check it.
Okay,
I will send him an email and see what's going on, because I noticed that some things have changed on the at least that's what I saw on LinkedIn and so on. So
sure.
That's what
before Get Me Links.
Yeah, continue.
Before Get Me Links, what company?
I used to work for TrendForce.
How do you spell
it? TrendForce. TRNDFORC.
Oh, TrendForce. And who were you reporting to?
we had like so many people to report to. I think that right now the leader was actually the Richard.
Is he, you don't have to worry about who is right now. You can just let me know who were you reporting to at that time, like the main
Yeah, it
person,
was.
Richard.
Yeah, it was the Richard.
Okay, the before Trend Force.
Actually, that was like my first company, and I worked there for a long time, and the rest was just different freelancers from Upwork mostly.
Got it. But these two are like SEO related, right? Get Me Links and Trend Force.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool.
But the Trendforce is more like content related, but they did also they had SEO part of stuff. That's what I actually did, and the other are I actually I have, like I told you, I have basically I have all of those contacts, their emails, and I will send to you their emails so you can reach out to them. I know that I have them all in my email.
Got it, cool. So all right, well, we can, do that afterwards, whenever.
Yeah, sure.
But right now, let me see. I'm trying to find that part of the. I don't know why I don't have that section in my notes. But there was a question that's supposed to be like, we like to ask just to see later on. It's interesting to see what you think versus what they say. So, like, for example, like Gary, right?
Yeah.
What do you like if you had to guess right now? What do you think Gary would say when we just ask him, like, "Hey, can you tell me a little bit about, how Benjamin was working here, and what do you think he'll say?"
I think that at least what I was trying to do, let's say it's I was trying to be remembered as a hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will be like really satisfying to me to hear that they think about me that I'm a hard worker, let's say it like that. So I think that definitely he will be able to say that, because I know that I was giving, like, say 100% of myself to that role, and I'm pretty sure that everybody that I have worked with can say that. Also, I think that I will be able to find I still have my Upwork profile, so I also have, like, let's say those, if you I'm sure that you are aware of the review part, when they give you, like, rating the 5 stars and so on.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to share the screenshot with you of those reviews that I have.
Oh, I should have asked about that earlier. Can you send me a link to your Upwork profile?
Yeah, sure. I will send you. You just need to leave me an email so I can send you the email of those contacts, and
But am I able to see
of my
your
Upwork.
the reviews you got on your profile, like just the public profile?
Yeah, they are actually, like, I think they are publicly, you are able to see them. I don't think that you need to be registered to Upwork.
I
At
just
least I'm
searched
not
for your
sure of it.
name, right?
Can you please repeat, please?
I was saying I have to log into Upwork and then search for your name or something like that.
Yeah, I think that you probably should be able to see it. When I send you the link, I think that you will be able to see it even without the login, but I'm not sure.
Let me see. How do you say your last name?
It's LGA
LGA.
VK O
VKOVIC. Got it.
Yeah, if you are not able to find it, I can send it to you. It's really not a problem. There are not too many reviews on there, but you basically you will see that they are there.
All right, no problem. I'll get that later. So it's Gary would say you're a hard worker, and that'll be anything else you think you'd say?
Uh, I think that the hard worker, dedicated worker. I think that I'm loyal also. So
What about Richard? What do you think he would say?
I think that I think that he will probably say the similar stuff. At
Oh,
least I'm trying to be like, let's say, okay with everybody and workaholic. So I don't think that. Of course, maybe some of them will say something else, but at least that's from my perspective what I think about it.
got it, got it. Well, that's all we're looking for. For Get Me Links, why did you leave that position?
The thing is like the thing started to, let's say, change. The company structure changed. I think the company was actually the other people were starting to get to that company, and just I was actually like not able to accept some kind of things, like if I'm, let's say, if my role is that I'm responsible for the quality of the job. If you like try to put me to work on something else, it's not a problem, but at least don't keep me responsible for the bad results if they start to come out. And that's a particular time what started to happen. When I got there, like I started to see like we was mostly delivering the links, and I started to notice when I got there, a lot of people were like, they didn't want to, let's say, they were dissatisfied with the things that they were delivered to them. So when I got there, we started to improve that part, and after sometimes they just I was starting to help the salesperson to get everything on track, because like I told you, the other people just start to come in. It was the first time when actually I heard that company the ownership will change, and yeah, I started to help the salesperson, and it's like, hey, this is, let's say, your role right now. And I was really working on it, but I started to receive questions like, hey, why this client is dissatisfied with this, how could you let this be delivered to them? And like I started to see that after some times, first I accepted that as a let's say, mistake, but after sometimes I noticed that actually I'm being held responsible for things that I don't even do. So
they were
and
basically grading you on things, on the quality of work that's not your main task.
yeah, it's like let's say it like this. Let's say that you put me in the position in which I have to. Let's say I'm working with 10 clients, and my 10 clients are satisfied with everything, and then you ask me about why they are clients with that it's actually assigned to another account manager, why he's dissatisfied, like how could you let this happen? So I started to notice like this is not, I started to think that it's like not good environment to be in, and that's why I just pull myself out of it.
Got it, got it. Okay. The other company was for Richard is Trendforce. Why did you leave that position?
It's just because I start to think that I, like I told you in the beginning, it's basically I didn't think that I was able to learn anything more over there. So I was just at one position. I couldn't see like any type of improvement over there.
What were
So
you
I
hired
wanted,
to do again?
yeah, I started over there in like content researcher, and SEO and then project managing team, but everything was just the same basically. The basically I think that almost like in content even became like let's say the same. So after like a couple of years, I see that that there was like nothing else for me to achieve over there.
Got
And
it. Well, what would you say
I
your most
started.
accomplished, what was your biggest accomplishment though over there?
I think that overall my career, like how it started, and the position that I was like moving from the content researcher to like let's say up to the project management role.
The
It was
promotions,
like
right?
yeah, I think that it's like it's the whole that career is I think one big accomplishment because when I started there, I was not even aware that much of that digital marketing and content marketing, and I end up like let's say in some kind of managerial position. That's like I can say big W for me, because I was being able to learn. That was like some kind of entry door for me, and that was probably like the brightest spot in my career so far, because that's like basically I learned some basics over there, how to be responsible. It was my first job, how to be responsible for something, how to take ownership of the things that you do, um, how to work harder, basically how to communicate with people, how to communicate with colleagues, and so on and so on. So that's like you know
And what would
I
you
can,
say in like the team you're working with on there, right? While you're getting multiple promotions and stuff, who were you working with most closely other than Richard?
uh, it's like let's say it's like it's hard for me to think about it. Probably there's one girl called Azra. I have I was like probably most close to her. You know, we was actually hired sometimes like around the same time basically. So like we was the rookies in that company, and we started to work the same month. And let's say somehow our roles were like similar. She was also the SEO over there. Then I improved to the position that she was also there. She helped me out with some stuff. And after COVID started, she just like there was so many tremblings in the company, that basically some people got fired, and she just left after I think she left like in probably April 2020. And I was really really working close with her,
Or
probably the closest
what would
probably
you
the
rate
closest
her? Like, or rate her or the whole team? The team you're working with. What would you rate them overall in team communication, the team ability to execute and get things done out of like A level team or B or C?
uh, it's since it's like probably it's not in my mind I still think that's like a team, because it's probably because it's my first team.
Hmm.
So that's like I was taught over there to work basically. And I can say definitely we did so many good things, like we were so compact and we worked so great together. So
What about
I think
Gary's
that
team?
over there, well, it's I'm not sure that it's like that on A level, probably B minus or C,
Mhm.
because of sometimes it was just so chaotic over there. And actually like I was bring there to bring some, let's say, to bring everything together. They was like looking at me to fix everything. And because let's say when I got there, they were still working in the project management in Google Sheets actually. So that's really good project management tool. But I know that a lot of, let's say, 50 or 60% people are not fan of it.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty old.
yeah, it's like, and there's like at some point I start to see like there's the line hierarchy in the company, but I'm not sure that everybody's aware of it. And the problem is, it's like, okay, when, in my opinion, it's when you have somebody that is, let's say, executor, and he's not that much aware of the hierarchy, that's in my opinion some kind, let's say, it's pretty okay, because he receives the tasks, he completes it, and he reports that, and he should not be aware of the, let's say, rules of it. But when you have in the company and you say that there's like chain of command, and you work on it and try to prove that there's hierarchy in the company, and you are so hard 1 week on it, and next week you are just changing everything up, you let's say you bring the hell or the mess to the to everything that was done in the last, let's say, 10 days. That's like sometimes it gets like frustrating, really, because you start to question everything.
True,
And
true.
that's I noticed that also the other people were not so happy about it. And
What were you hired to do though? What was your, like, when they hired you, what did they say the main role was?
It was like head of fulfillment, communicating with clients. Actually, they were like, they had, they were receiving the orders through Shopify, so I had to, like, let's say, take over that order, assign it to project manager. After it gets delivered, I take that order, I check the basically links for quality, see how how that process went, how much we spent on the certain links, was it worth it? Is it high quality link? Does it meet the criteria that was asked to be from the client perspective? And if it does, then I report that back to the client. If not, then I just return that to, assign that to project manager, so he can make sure that gets done, making sure that everybody, like, basically making sure that everything works, like, let's say, everything is ticking. But like I said, when I got there, I really started to implementing all those stuffs, but the things started to tumble a little bit, and then just when hell broke loose, I can say.
Got it. No, that makes sense. Well, Benjamin, like I said, it's been a pleasure so far talking. And just to let you know, the way we do these interviews is generally, right now we are gone through 3 out of the 4 sections, right? And generally, when we do interviews, if the person does not sound like they qualify within the first section, we stop the interview there. And same with second section, like that. So we're done with 3 out of 4, and I think so far you're looking very qualified and everything's looking really good. The next section is actually where we take a little break from our conversation on Skype. I'm going to send you a link to Colby. Have you heard of this before?
Probably. I'm not sure, to be honest. Can you just explain to me, like?
Yeah, it's just like a personality test. It's like similar to Myers-Briggs. There's no right or wrong. It just looks at how you like to work or stuff like that. So what we can do, it probably takes like 10-15 minutes, but no rush. Don't rush it. It's fine. Like I sent you the link. You have to make a username, email, make up a password, and then just take the test. And then when you're done, message me, and then we will get on the final call, which will be just another 5, maybe max 10 minutes, and then we're done with the interview.
Okay, great. Send me a link, and I will work on it.
Okay, I just sent it to you. Did you get it?
Let me check.